It's Fernando Ruiz Art.
Hi everybody, it's been a while, but we're going to get into some drawing here. And today what I'm going to do is a very particular, very special, this is a private commission. I still do those. And this is a very particular commission, although aren't they all? And this is a new one for me. Okay, the characters that I'm drawing here are two Mortal Kombat characters. So we're actually, and we'll see how far I get, but we may actually see me drawing two characters working together. But we'll see how that goes. Now, what you're seeing me doing right now is I am really very loosely laying out the figure's body. And if I wanted to, I could do this even more basically than I'm doing it now, using just stick figures. What I want to do at this stage is get the figures posed down on paper. So I'm moving very quickly, moving very loosely all over the figure. You can't see it, but off camera I do have a preliminary sketch of the character that I'm drawing, because I didn't want to waste time on camera sort of making or figuring out the pose. So especially since I've got a kind of a fairly involved pose in mind for this. And as I said, this may involve two characters, or actually this will involve two characters. We'll just see how far I can get in the course of the video. Now the characters that I'm drawing, these are new ones for me. These are first time characters for me. The female, as you can see, who I'm sketching right now, this is Shiva from Mortal Kombat, sort of this four-armed dragon chick. Never drew her before, so I'm, be merciful as I put her on paper. I'm also, just off camera here, I also have my Google going with some Shiva reference. And I see that she's kind of, she, like a lot of these characters who've been around for a bit, she's got a lot of different looks to her. So I'm gonna pick what I see the most of, and kind of a combination of what I see the most of and what I like the most. And I may end up, maybe designing some parts of her myself. But I still want to keep true to the character, just to keep the commissioner, the buyer, happy. He does want Shiva, so I don't want to change her from that. And I'm still blocking her in, which is what we call this stage of the game. This is also what we call the underdrawing. Just very loosely, and I'm also keeping things light. Notice how light I'm keeping my pencil lines, and that's very important. A lot of people, their natural tendency is to go super dark right from the get-go, and you really don't want to do that, because as you go, you're bound to want to make changes. You're bound to, tweak a pose, move an arm, redraw a leg, change a face. That's bound to happen. So you don't want your lines to be that dark until you're ready to commit to something. And I'm at this point too, where I'm fairly happy with the pose that I'm getting. I'm fairly where I want to be. Yeah, now I could start to darken things up, and I could start to hint at more detail, like some of the anatomy. Maybe I could start getting into some clothing and armor, and although from the reference I see she doesn't wear a whole lot of clothing, but she's got something on. And I'll start to indicate that and start darken that. I may even start going into her face. She's this monster. I see she described as sort of a hybrid dragon or something. I'll be honest with you. I'm not the most fluent Mortal Kombat fan in the world. Although that was probably one of the. I'm not a big video game guy either. I'll admit that. But back in my college days, I did play some video games. I did dabble, I guess you could say. And one of the games that I did dabble with was Mortal Kombat. I want to click around a little bit to see what Shiva's got going in terms of ears. Does she have ears? Are they human-looking ears? There's Goro. Okay. Yeah, it looks like she's got pretty much what I suspected, sort of pointy ears. This commission is going to be done just in pencil. Now we're getting into that. I'm getting into the face a little bit, so maybe I'm going to zoom in there. And I'm going to go in. Now this girl being a monster, you kind of have to walk that fine line between making her scary looking and at the same time have sort of a hotness about her. And as I look at what Google Images calls up, a lot of people seem to have done their own takes on her. But they all make her, at least try to make her look as hot as you can go with a dragon woman who's got 6 arms, or 4 arms. So she's got this long thing of hair. Now that I've blocked her in somewhat, you know what I may want to do? And I may notice some parts of her are going to be a little bit more developed than others. And that just comes from hopping around. And I've said this before in other videos. The reason I like to hop around and not just see one part of the character all the way through, jump from the trapezius right here down to an arm, go in and detail the face a little bit more, then jump over to this other hand that I kind of left out. But the reason I do this is because jumping around keeps me aware of the entirety of the figure. Okay, it keeps me aware of how all the different parts of the figure that I'm drawing, how they interact with each other. And at the same time, what I want is not only for the parts of the one figure to interact, but I also want the second figure that I'm going to be drawing. He's got to interact as well. So I'm gonna rough him in a little bit. Let me get a picture of this guy. And I'm sure it won't be too hard for you guys to guess who this is. Looks pretty good. Did I say who this guy was already? I always have to resist going too far too soon with the faces. I know it's sometimes you can really lose yourself in in the fun of some of the details, but again, you want to keep your eye on the entirety of the figure. And in this case, yeah, I'm drawing 2 figures, so I want them to really play nicely together. I'm going way up high with this guy's arm. And he's got, looks like he's got what, 2 fingers? 2 thick fingers on each hand. And the 2 fingers, that really makes the hand a whole lot easier. I want to thicken up his arm somewhat. So again, you're always making changes. I want to beef him up some. Excuse me. So I know this has been I've been absent from the videos for a while. It's been a little while since my last video, and all I can say is day job, my day job has been keeping me busy. For those of you who haven't been following me, I've started working as the admissions officer at the Kubert School, which is a full-time position. And a lot of people ask me about my job, and they kind of think that I'm the guy who interviews the students and decides who gets in and who gets out. And that's not me. What I do is I help the students once they've applied and they've been accepted. I move their applications forward, and I help them along with the enrollment process. I get their information. I make sure they're handing in what they need to hand in. And that's it. That's the job. Of course, I have other responsibilities too. Like I'm also in charge of the student housing. I also do the tours. There's a lot of things that need to be done at the school. So I enjoy it. I enjoy it. This is also my 26th year at the school as a teacher. I'm still teaching, and I never want to lose that. I never want to give that up. I enjoy teaching. See, there I go, indulging in the face again. So I want to move on down to the rest. And this, did I name this guy yet? Did I say who this is? I'm sure you Mortal Kombat fans can tell exactly who this is. Sometimes when the figures, you're doing a scene with multiple figures like this and they overlap, you kind of have to use a little x-ray vision and look through the figures. And if it helps you to draw right through the figure that's forward, do it. Do it. You could always tighten up and take out any lines you don't want to use later. So this other arm may be going off camera or off the scene. And so did I name this guy? This is Goro. Goro, the big man monster, half dragon, whatever he is, that shows up at the end of, I believe he's the last thing that you fight in Mortal Kombat. And just like I did before with Shiva, I'm just blocking him in. And I don't know, I'm not sure if I'll be able to finish Goro all in one shot. What I may do is finish him in a time-lapse video. That always seems to go well. So at the end of this video, hang in there, and we'll wrap up these guys. So what do you think? How are they looking so far? I should probably go and give Goro some legs. Again, to really make sure that the legs aren't just sticking out on the other side of Shiva here, what you may want to do is, and not in any great detail whatsoever, but you may want to just draw right through and make sure that the legs are standing properly, are connecting properly to the figure behind it. You don't want the legs to just be kind of peeking out sort of awkwardly. You want everything to kind of go together. So there is Shiva versus Goro, at least the beginning of this commission. Like I said, I'm going to take it a little further in time lapse, so hang in there and let me know what you think. And if, as always, if you dig this video, click like, share the video. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Let everybody know. Share my links. I always post links. And follow me on Facebook, Instagram. All my social media is linked to in the description of this video. So make sure you do that. And as always, keep drawing, everybody. Keep drawing.